I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hey Draculon, we are not Aryan species. Others also deserve respect, not being oppressed. Exactly. Hey Rick Smith, and hello Jake Lagatare. I haven't checked who won the last comment thing. Just didn't have the time. But I think it was Draculon, if I were to make an educated guess. We are now in front of Albert Kaupstraat. It's a street where they have a lot of food and stuff. Cool new spot. It's not new. We've been doing this before, but not often. Next to me, there's a fruit store, as you can see. So I have something cool to look at. And there's a lot of people at this time. We're gonna try to do maybe an hour and a half, maybe two. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna be doing. We'll see how it goes. Hey, you wanna try a social experiment? Say that again?
Deze kant is helemaal blank, ik heb een herseninfarct.
Okay.
Deze kant is helemaal blank.
Oh. Do you need to go to an emergency? Do you need to go to an emergency?
15 jaar geleden een herseninfarct gehad. De schedel eraf gehaald, de schedel gelicht.
Spreek je Engels? Mijn Nederlands is niet zo goed.
Deze eraf gehaald, de schedel gelicht. De schedel eraf gehaald, de schedel gelicht. Die bestaat er niet, hè. Normaal gesproken altijd Engels gepraat, maar nu niet meer. Schedel gelicht.
Oh, I see. That's okay, that's okay. Good luck, man. Good luck. Good luck. Nice location. Yeah, so unfortunately this guy actually had his whole right side of his body was, his hand was clenched, and he said his whole right side can no longer work. Well, I'm guessing his left side of the brain, because he was showing me to his left side, because that's the left side of the brain impacts the right side of the body. So yeah, he had some health issues, and he said his English, if I'm not mistaken, somebody who speaks Dutch and heard that, I think he said that he used to speak English, but he can no longer do that. Whatever. I hope he gets treated and becomes safe and stuff. I don't want anybody to go through that shit. That's awful. But yeah. So I heard some people liked while I was sitting here discussing what people and what I see. So I'm guessing the people who are only listening to this are not actually watching. I'll tell you that this is a street. It's a very typical Dutch street. It's not one of the pretty ones. It's just a pretty basic ones. And on each side of it, there's a stall. They sometimes sell food. They sometimes sell clothes. All kinds of stuff. And there's a lot of people walking by, coming here. I think it's also a lot of tourists who come in and out. King of fruits, I love durian. Nice. Durian, wow, you love durian. I haven't heard a lot of people say they love durian. I tried durian and I was like, holy shit. Smells like really badly. Yeah, so then I'm on the street. There's a couple of people looking at me. They're trying to assess, what is this guy doing? Like, what is he looking like? What is his deal? I gotta know. But they're not courageous enough to actually come and have a conversation with me. They're just looking at me and wondering, what's this guy doing? There's a metro station right over here, so we got that entrance there. And yeah, it's a little bit windy. I was gonna go to my normal location, but I'm definitely gonna go there on Sunday. So I thought, you know what, let's change it up a little bit. I hope we're gonna get some conversations here. The problem here, I think, is that a lot of people don't always stop, but there are a lot of people. So maybe it's just my perception. And yeah, everybody's it's looking good. Like everybody just walking around, minding their own business. Sunglasses mostly, because it's coming in and out of sunny, so that's kind of bothersome for the eyes. Smells like garlic and gas station, but it's best. Yeah, that's how durian smells like. Indeed, hummus 420. You want to have a conversation with
What do
me?
you want to talk about?
I ask you some questions,
Yeah,
get you to
I'm-
think a little bit.
I'm
Are you okay
curious.
being live for my YouTube channel?
Of course, say hey.
Oh, what's your name? Come here so that you're interviewed. TJ, where are you from?
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I don't think I've talked to anybody from Jamaica.
Well, I'm the first guy.
The first guy.
so,
So, TJ, I'm an animal rights activist.
Yeah.
I fight for the rights of animals.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that animals deserve rights?
I think so.
What rights do you think they deserve?
I think they deserve every right as human being also.
So do they deserve the right to not be enslaved by humans?
I think they also deserve the right also. So
Yeah.
I really accept like vegan people and
Yeah.
all those type of people because I'm like. they
Are you
deserve-
vegan yourself?
I'm not vegan, but I'm
Oh.
trying to be a vegan these
Okay,
days because I'm
okay.
like, okay, they deserve to live also like us, right? And
Yeah.
enjoy life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think they deserve all rights also.
What does being vegan mean to you?
Well, vegan means like, okay, that's mean like not eating meat. So it's more like chunks, like veggie chunks. So it's more like green things, green eating, green food you're eating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, skip the meat, no dairy products, so things. That's what I know vegans do. I think they don't eat fish also. It depends on the type of vegans you are, but
No, so vegan is, you're right.
Uh-huh.
That's what vegans do.
Right.
But veganism is not about what we do. Well, it is about what we do, but
Right.
it's essentially a moral principle of saying animals should not be enslaved, like you just said
Right,
now,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
So, but by that, we just live by it. We say, I'm not going to pay for animals to be enslaved. If I don't need to, why would I pay it? And that goes for food, that goes for clothing, entertainment, all sorts of situations.
Exactly.
Right?
I totally agree on that. I really
Yeah.
agree.
So then, what is keeping you from yourself aligning your actions with your values? Because your values seem to be vegan values.
I know, but the thing is, it's kind of difficult also to skip eating no meat. So I'm like, okay, sometimes I need to eat meat also. So I'm like, because I need that protein also. To have
Can you get protein from other sources?
Yes, you can, but I think like in red meat, there's still also a lot of protein in chicken.
But in red meat, it's also carcinogenic. Huh?
Yeah, that's also true. And
So-
I need eggs for doing.
But do you so when you say I need, do you need any of this or do you want it?
I think I need it.
You think you need it?
Yeah, I need it.
So if I give you resources that would help you not consume any of these and still get the protein and
Right.
everything that your body needs
Right.
to survive and thrive, to be as healthy as you can be,
Right.
is there any reason why you would want to continue supporting animal slavery?
Then I will go on the healthier way and continue to support the animal side.
Yeah.
So I think if there's also a solution for that, I would totally agree with that, of course.
Oh, that's cool. Where do you live, by the way? Do you live here?
I
Do you
live in Holland.
You
I
live in
here
Holland.
in Amsterdam.
Oh, here is so easy to be vegan, man.
Is
Isn't
it easy to be vegan?
Yeah, I mean, if you go into
Well,
Alberheim, you have even plant-based meats that are
That's so
delicious,
true,
and
that's
there's
so true.
always a brand that is discounted, almost 50%.
That's true. That's so true. And I think even as vegan, sometimes it can be a bit cheaper, and sometimes it can be also a bit expensive. It depends on the location you are.
So overall, actually, there was a study conducted in the Netherlands, and overall, it is actually way cheaper to be vegan here.
Okay, I know in Asia for sure it's way cheaper to be vegan. in
Oh,
Asia.
interesting,
Yeah,
okay.
so I'm like, I think here it's a bit expensive to be vegan because some of the things that I saw in the supermarket, they're also a bit pricey. So I'm like,
Yeah, like plant-based meats or plant-based cheeses, right?
also the cheeses
Yeah.
are very expensive.
Yeah, so the thing is, you don't have to eat those always, right? You can
That's
eat them from time to time, and if you
Right.
consume like a health, because those are not also that healthy, right?
Right.
So if you're concerned about your health, you're probably going to have a whole foods plant-based diet, and with that, you'll probably be spending considerably less money. Like I'll
Okay.
tell you, I went vegan the same time I quit my job, coincidentally, and inflation went up.
Yeah.
And I still spend less money now on groceries than I did then.
Okay, back then. Okay, I'm gonna try.
Let me give you a card before you
Okay,
go.
I'm gonna take your card, and I'm gonna also do a research, like.
Please,
how, like, to
100%.
become vegan. Because I'm 100% with you also. I
Please,
totally
please,
agree
please
with
do
you.
your research. I always encourage people to that. So
Okay.
let me tell you one thing real quick. If you scan this QR code,
Yeah.
there's a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day,
Right.
and they help you go plant-based for free.
Okay, I'm totally gonna do it.
Okay, and if you want to watch maybe Dominion or the most important speech lever here, also
Right.
if you scan this QR code, they appear on top. Just to
Okay.
kind of understand what we're talking about here, because a
Okay.
lot of the times we don't know what the
Right.
practices are and all of this. So you know why, because a lot of people ask themselves, but eggs are not that bad, they don't kill the animals or something.
Right.
But it will teach you why the eggs are harmful to the animals, at least so that you know.
Okay, I will.
I
Thanks for
appreciate
this.
you. What was your name again?
TJ.
TJ, you're awesome,
Okay,
man. I
nice
appreciate you. You were my
meeting you
first
also.
conversation today, and you're already
Well,
awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Take care.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
man. Yeah, TJ was nice, huh? Nice TJ. That was a good conversation to start with. I appreciate that. It's energizing. Hi. Sure. You want to have a conversation with me?
Sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
What's your name?
Justin. Hi.
Justin. Where are you from? I'm Chip.
I'm from Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Okay, love it.
Yes.
So Justin, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals.
Yeah.
Do you think that animals deserve rights?
Yeah.
What rights do you think they deserve?
They deserve to be in a healthy environment. Like I'm not vegetarian, so I wouldn't say they don't deserve to be on a plate.
Yeah.
Because I like meat, but I would say a healthy environment is the most important thing. We get it, so they should also deserve it.
Do you think they deserve the right to not be enslaved by us?
What do you mean with enslaved?
It means to keep them captive and to make them do whatever we want them to do, or get from them whatever we
You mean
want
like
to
the
get from
zoo
them.
kind of perspective?
Say it again.
Like the zoo kind of perspective? Like
Just like
to
basic
watch them.
slavery, just like what slavery is. They don't have freedom essentially. We just take away their freedom and we use them for whatever we want.
Okay.
Do you think they deserve the right to not be enslaved?
Everybody deserves the right not to be a slave.
Okay.
Um,
And then you came back to this whole thing when you mentioned meat and animal products. Do you think that those animals are enslaved for those products?
Difficult question. I would say yes, which makes me hypocritical.
Yeah.
So yes, I think kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think you can choose something else? And I'm not. I know maybe you don't want to, but I'm asking you. Do you think for your health, for your life, like if you were to be choosing, for example, a plant-based diet, do you think you can survive and thrive on it?
No.
No.
I don't think so. But that's because like the way I grew up and the way I am myself, I wouldn't suggest myself just to do a plant-based diet.
So wait, if I can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet, then what is different biologically with you that you can do it?
There is nothing biological. It's like the mindset. Like I choose not to do it.
Okay, so in
Yeah.
theory you can, you just choose not to.
I choose not to do it. yeah.
Okay, so then when you say you're against slavery but you choose to pay for slavery, it's like just
That's hypocritical.
it's hypocritical.
I get it, and I would say I definitely stand by it. But like a lot of things, like I have a lot of values, and some values for me are higher than others. This one would be more in the middle. So that's why I say like
What other values do you have?
my values. I would say respect. I think respect is one of the most important.
Respect to
things.
like who?
Respect for myself and respect for other people. Or,
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so do you think you can do that while at the same time choose to not oppress animals?
Again,
Do you think you can respect yourself and other people while at the same time not oppressing animals? Like making different choices? Because, for example, when you
Yeah.
let's because most of the people have an issue with food. Okay, I'm assuming that's also your issue, right? Because if I would ask you, can you live without wearing leather?
yeah.
Yeah, no problem. That's still oppressing animals. Can you live without going to zoos or to circuses that use animals?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you definitely can. So the problem is the food for you, right?
For me, it's food. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that when it comes to food, if you acknowledge that you can survive and thrive, like I understand that what you want is what you want, but like when you buy food, you make a choice yourself, correct?
Yeah.
So when it comes to these other values, you can still uphold them how you do. Like I'm not asking you to be on the street like I am right now and speak up for the animals. I'm asking you to make the choice that doesn't enslave them, that doesn't oppress them, that doesn't take their life away from them, you know? Do you think, like, I understand that you might not like it at first or you might find it difficult, but I'm not sure if you like the same things that now that you did as a child. Do you still like the same things as
No,
food?
that's true.
Yeah, so food taste changes, and in this situation, maybe it's not a natural change as in naturally flows, but you rather push it a little bit in that direction yourself. But you do it for a noble cause, right? You do it for to no longer exploit and slaughter animals, right? Which is something that you already withhold that value. So I don't know, like, do you think taste or pleasure or convenience, do any of this justify enslaving animals?
Jesus, you come with difficult questions.
Yeah, they're difficult questions, as I know.
My honest answer would say, like, let me say it like this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against people stop producing meat. But as long as it is here, I'm still going to take a choice to buy it.
But when you buy it, you acknowledge that you're basically with your money you're voting and you're saying exploit more animals, do more of this. And what you're saying now is that I wouldn't be against if there were no meat, I could live and survive. But since there is, since these industries exploit and slaughter animals, I'm gonna support them, right? So why not just stop supporting them?
I think that like I understand this, but I'm not really into it because like there are a lot of things, to be honest, that will sometimes I think like, ooh, maybe this is not the right thing to do, but I still want to do it, and it's like what I said, it's hypocritical, but I stand by it. Like if I would, I'm not the person.
But do you think that if you say you're hypocritical but you stand by it, I'm sorry for interrupting you
Yeah,
there.
no worries.
Do you think that that makes it okay?
It doesn't make it okay,
No.
but I can live by it.
You can live by it, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, because you don't really see it. It doesn't really affect you. You're just the one who demands the enslavement and slaughter of animal, but you're not affected by it per se, right?
No,
Like,
I'm not affected by it.
Yeah.
Like I would say, if I see the commercials of stuff, it affects me mentally, and of course, like I don't eat meat always, but still, thing for me, meat is also kind of pleasure thing, and I would say that if it's not here, I would find other pleasures fine with that.
would you do the same to dogs for pleasure?
What do you mean?
Like enslave and slaughter them for?
I think we already enslave dogs basically by
Yeah,
just keeping them as. In
I
our
agree
house.
with you, as
Yeah.
pets, yeah, yeah. So would you be okay with enslaving them and killing them for meat?
No, I couldn't kill them.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean to pay somebody to do it in the same situation.
No, I couldn't
No,
do
no. So you see, you have this. Isn't it like a double standard? Like, why
It's
is
a
it
double
that?
standard,
Yeah,
yeah.
like for dogs, you. But should you really like? I feel like I understand that this is something you grew up with, but don't you think you should challenge it? Because you know, like a person who grew up during racist times could have just as easily said, like you did, I grew up like this. I get benefit from it. It doesn't really affect me. Therefore, I'm just gonna continue being a racist or something, right? Like this is another form of discrimination. It's called speciesism. It's discriminating based on species, and it's I would say it's just as bad because at the end of the day, a dog does not choose to be born a dog, and a cow does not choose to be born a cow. And yet you seem to think that if you're born a cow, it's okay to enslave and kill you, but if you're born a dog, you deserve rights.
Okay, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. It's okay, you know, that's what I want to, like, the reality is all of the things that we have about food and of this is things that have been bestowed by our parents, by the industries. Our parents also got them from these industries because they have a financial incentive so that you buy their products.
Yeah.
They will, like, if you look at how a slaughterhouse looks like, they have such high fences, like they're literally as high as this whole grid that it is next to the, like up onto the first floor, how it is here in the, like they have high fences, they have high security, they have like they put people in jail if people go there without being supposed to be there. Like they're better guarded than jails even. So all this is because they don't want consumers to see what it is in there. They don't want people, because people, like if you see it, you wouldn't like it. Most people, like yourself, but they have this on you. That's what they have on you. They have this idea that you don't see it, therefore they know they can sell you the product. They know that you will continue buying it if you don't see it. So I don't have any financial incentive to this game. I really want to speak for the animals. And what you could do is at least I give you some resources and just give it a watch. Do the bare minimum. Watch what it is that you're paying for. And if you're truly okay with it, or you still want to be, I want to say apathetic, because it's a little bit of apathy in that situation. If you still want to be apathetic towards it, I can't police you any further, but at least you know what you're paying for.
Okay, fair.
Okay? Yeah, I appreciate that. Justin, you said, right?
Yeah.
So Justin, if you scan this QR code, the minion will show you exactly what it is. And it's the same thing that happens in the Netherlands. You can keep the card, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch it later.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. We need to
Well,
have these
thanks.
conversations and challenge ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah, of course, but that's why I wanted to see what you were talking about, because I think like the thing for me, respect is listening to somebody else's story.
Yeah.
And see like where is the mid ground, or
Yeah.
why do you think this? Why do I think this? Like, it's not about having your own story, but it's about listening to someone else's story and see if your story is still right.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks.
I agree with you. I appreciate you, man. Have an awesome day.
You too.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks. Okay, everybody. We've had 2 conversations so far. Pretty good conversations, I would say. Justin was a nice guy. I'm also kind of calm today. I'm also kind of trying to be understanding, trying to actually get people to change. Oh, look at that. We have a lot of people already, and I appreciate everybody being here. We're going to do some people watching at some point, huh? We're watching people walking by. There's 3 police officers keeping the peace over here. Thank you, police officers, for keeping the peace. They're ignoring me. They're like, there's this crazy guy with a camera. I don't know what he's doing. This lady just walked by laughing at what I was saying. Thank you for that. And yeah, there's a lot of people, some with a bike, some without a bike. But as I said, me sitting here with a sign makes most people wonder, well, I wonder what the heck is this guy doing, huh? Sitting with a sign with a camera of all things in the middle of the public? Who knows? Should I try it? I don't know if I should try it. I'm scared. What if I'll say something stupid? I don't want to say something stupid on camera. Who knows how many people will be watching this? Will they cancel me afterwards? This is essentially what people are thinking, by the way, when they're watching and seeing my signs. You want to try a social experiment? But yeah, I'm actually pretty lucky to be living here because, to be honest, I think like if I would go to the same places over and over, I would definitely run into the same people. But here, there's just so many tourists and there's just so many people that, you know, the likelihood of me running into the same people is much, much smaller. You are just pissing people off. I'm just pissing people off. No, I mean, how would I be pissing people off? I'm literally giving people compliments and trying to be nice. I'm literally looking at people and seeing what they do, how they walk. Like, look at the confidence that people are walking over here. Beautiful people walking with confidence. They bought something. They will enjoy it later. Let's hope that it did not oppress animals in that situation. Somebody said get a job. Well, I actually have a job. Thanks again so much for the help. We will keep the movement going day by day at the gym right now, says Axel. Axel, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you for supporting me. And yes, I will keep doing it regardless if you support me or not. I will keep doing this regardless if people come up or not. I just believe that it's one of the most important things we should be fighting for. Let's see, a lot of cool people. Hey, you want to try a social experiment? I'm also a little bit of a crazy person because I'm in a t-shirt, but most people are actually wearing jackets and such. But there's people in t-shirts also. I'll admit it, there's people in t-shirts. Yeah. You know, most people, they don't really know. I think most people, they read online and they're like, oh, you should visit this street that's like a market in Amsterdam. And they're like, yeah, let's visit that. And they don't really know what to expect, I guess. So some of them, they come up from the station because they come from a different place. And some of them come from the other side and they just walk by. Do you guys want to try a social experiment? Yes. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Can we go in group?
Yeah, of course. If you're okay being live for my YouTube channel, sure. Okay.
146.
Where you guys from?
Spain.
Spain. Love it. Okay. So I'm asking people, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals. Do animals deserve rights?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
What rights do they deserve?
To be treated.
respected.
Yes.
To
To
not
be
be
treated right.
encarcelados.
And
To
to
have
not
a
be
life
jailed.
with quality. You know,
Okay.
a quality life.
Do they deserve the right to not be enslaved by us?
Yes.
The slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
To live in their original habitat.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. So do you think that when we buy animal products like food, like meat, like dairy, like eggs, do you think we're enslaving animals for those products?
Well, I think that it depends in the way that those animals are treated before the products are
Are they a property of somebody?
the animals.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, the animals that we keep for animal agriculture are not property?
Oh yes, they are.
Are they treated like property?
Sometimes.
I think that it depends on the product and on the people that are using the that fabricate it.
So which product do you think does not treat animals like property?
I don't know. Like farms?
Yeah, so you think farms do not treat animals like property?
No.
Depende de la farm.
There are farms that treat animals good.
Well, let's put it this way: dairy cows, you know, cows that produce milk. We like to think that there's nothing bad going on there, right? But why do cows produce milk in the first place? Do you know?
For the, I don't know.
Yeah,
For
you're
the little cows.
Exactly, for the little cows, for their babies. So they have to have babies. They have to be pregnant. Do you think they get pregnant when they want to, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers decide.
Farmers decide.
Is that not a sign of treating them like property, the fact that they decide when they get pregnant?
Well, I think that some of those products like are necessary, and some people have to eat it.
We can go down that route. We can go. Let's just finish with what everything that happens to them. So, is it a sign of property the fact that we artificially inseminate them? That we the procedure is like somebody puts their hands in their anus to hold their cervix and they inject bull semen in the vagina. That's the standard procedure. It happens almost always. It's almost ubiquitously everywhere.
Well, I think that if it's almost
Yeah.
always, we have to try and make the farms be more sostenibles.
Yeah, sustainable. Yeah,
Yes.
so even the situations when it doesn't happen, it's still they keep the bull separate and only allow them to come with the female when they want to. So I would say that's still treating them like property because, imagine you like a boy and I just say, no, it's not your time to get pregnant yet. The boy can only come when it's time to get you pregnant.
But I think that you can compare a cow to a human.
I mean, there are comparable reasons. Yes, there are because they have emotions, they have feelings,
I don't think
they
in this
have an
case-
experience of the world. They feel love, they feel passion, they want to have friends, they want to have families. They're very much like us in all those ways.
Well, I really think
I
that
think
it's not the
they
same.
need to have rights, but they are not comparable to humans.
That's okay, you can believe that. But let's move on just to finish with this dairy. If there's something that you can get from this whole conversation, at least know how dairy is produced. When the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They cry.
Say it again. They cry. They cry. I don't know if they cry to be honest, but I know that the one thing they do is that they separate them from their mothers. Do you know why they separate them from their mothers?
To cry. No dice bebés.
So they can use the meat.
So that they can take the milk. Very smart. That's it. That's it.
She thought human
I
babies.
thought human.
No. With the cows, we separate them from their mothers
sorry.
because if they would stay with their mothers, they would drink the milk. So milk has to go for human consumption, or so we say. Then, if the baby is born male, they're useless to them because they don't produce milk. So what do you think what happens to them?
It depends, maybe. Well, it depends on the farm and everything.
Yeah, so some farms kill them directly, some farms let them starve to death, and some farms they grow them up to a year or two and then they kill them. But eventually they all get killed.
Well, I don't think that killing them when they are babies have a lot of sense because you can really use the meat or anything.
If you knew the fact that cows raised for dairy are different than the cows raised for meat, then you would understand why they kill them because they're a different breed. They don't produce that much meat, and they would have to feed them so much that if a farm is small, they can't really leverage. They can't make money from it. They would actually lose money by feeding them for a year or two because they would get considerably less meat from them. Okay, but let's move on. If they're born female, they suffer the same fate as their mothers. They get sexually exploited every year. They get their baby stolen and then used for their milk. And they do this repeatedly, year over year. And at some point, they kill them. Do you know when they kill them?
When they get big.
When they have given enough milk.
Close. They kill them when they can no longer get them pregnant, right? If 1 year, so cows have the heat, the period when they're in heat, and if in that period they don't get them pregnant, they kill them because to keep them for another year would imply that they would have to feed them for another year. So is all of this that I just said, all of this is standard practice. It's the bare minimum that happens on all farms. Some farms do even worse, like they do dehorning, like they have all these other practices that are even worse, but everything that I mentioned happens even on the smallest farms. I saw it in my grandmother's backyard. I come from Romania, and even there it happens. So all this, is this treating them like property or not?
Well, I suppose it is, yes.
Yeah. So do you think we should be doing this to them?
No, totally not.
No. So you said that we need them. Well, we don't need to consume animal products. We can, like I'm vegan, I survive and thrive without it. And there's millions of people on this planet who do the same thing. And we have studies, we have science on our side. Essentially nowadays we don't. Maybe in the past we could justify that we did, but today we don't. Today we have so many alternatives that we do it because we choose to do it.
Yes, obviously you can live like that, but I don't think that you have to. Yeah? Like, I think that people who want to eat meat also have to make the choice. Like,
Should people who want to eat dog meat be allowed to kill dogs and eat them?
it's not the normalist thing.
But should they be allowed to kill them? Should they be allowed to bring dogs to existence, to kill them and then eat them?
No.
Why is it that you think for dogs they shouldn't be allowed to do it, but for cows they should be allowed to do it?
No, I don't think that. Well, I don't know.
I think we see eye to eye totally.
Yeah, I think value specifically, if you actually watch what they go through, you will understand and you'll say that it is horrific. And if you find out that do you have to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I won't keep you for too long. I just I'm happy that at least you learned what the dairy industry goes through. I'll just give you 2 cards. I don't know who to give 2 cards. I have several cards. Oh, fuck it. I'll give you 4 cards. I have enough cards. I'll give you cards each. So I'll just tell you one thing. I please just promise me one thing. Scan this QR code and watch the Minion or the most important speech ever here. They both appear on top just to learn about eggs, to learn about meat, to learn about what it is that you're supporting and paying for. And if you decide that you would want to be a part of any of it, you have resources there to help you out. But at least get informed, okay?
Okay.
Don't let these industries lie to you and just make you buy their shit. That's not, this isn't what it's about, okay?
Okay.
I appreciate you. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
And make better choices because if you were in their shoes, I would fight for you too, okay? So none of this. Bye. Okay. Plants eat meat. That's a new one. Plants eat meat. Yeah, I did like the conversation with these girls. They were nice. They were. I feel like they came up with justifications, sure, but they listened. They kind of engaged. That's what I appreciate about conversations. At the end of the day, we gotta engage. Great day so far, says Martin. Yeah, Martin, thank you for that. Yeah, I feel like if we give people the benefit of a doubt, but you see, I also have this. The way of talking today that I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to make them understand. I don't always have that. I'll be honest. I don't always have that. But yeah. Vegans, do you realize that you can be wrong also? Do you think animal exploitation for optional products is ever moral? And by the way, I'm wrong about a lot of things. I'm just not wrong about this one. But I am wrong about a lot of things, yes. Okay, there's other people looking at me. They're like, what is this guy saying? What? Chip is a butt pumper. I don't even know what that is. But if that's a slur for something like being gay or something, I don't care. I'm not gay, but even if I were.
Hello.
I figured you were coming here. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Sure.
What's your name?
Max.
Max, I'm Chip. Where are you from, Max?
I'm from Belarus.
Belarus. Okay. So Max, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight
Yeah.
for the rights of animals. Do you think that animals deserve rights?
Of course. Animal deserve rights. I used to be vegan and vegetarian for a lot of years.
So you used to be. What do you think being vegan is?
Being vegan is vegetarian is when you don't eat meat. Vegan is when you also don't eat like honey, eggs, milk sometimes.
It's
but
not veganism is not a diet. Vegetarianism, you're right, it is a diet, but veganism is not a diet.
Veganism is more like activity in some way.
It's like it's a moral principle. It's
Yeah,
saying
sure.
that it's wrong to enslave animals, and that's you just say if it's wrong to enslave animals, I'm not going to pay it to enslave
True,
animals,
true.
right?
Yes.
Do you think it's wrong to enslave animals?
No.
No. You think
I
it's okay to enslave animals?
Some people they still need. We need some vitamins, like for example B12, that impossible to get only from the.
You can supplement that, right?
Yeah. Well, technically we can, but as I know, majority of this sometimes you cannot get really them.
You cannot get what?
Even from pills, you cannot
you can,
fully
you can.
like active.
So
mean,
I
like, you
actually
can.
I actually had a B12 deficiency when I was not vegan, and now I have to take a pill for the rest of my life, regardless if I choose to be vegan or not. Because B12, by the way, comes from a bacteria that's on the ground. Animals used to get it from there, but we fucked up the ground, and that bacteria no longer exists. So now animals are supplemented. So when you're getting B12 from an animal product, you're getting it also from a supplement.
It's true. So yeah, in this way I agree. Like if you're fully, ready to fully follow this activity until the end of your life to consume like B12, then yeah, this is quite a good because I can repeat. I used to also be like this. I was coming to doctor and they said like I have like
some not suitable amount of vitamin D, of B12.
But
and
vitamin D is not coming from animal products; it's coming from the sun.
they
the
said,
the
like, I
amount
need
that
to
comes
eat
from animal
eggs.
products is so small
Ah.
that it's negligible.
They said like I must eat eggs.
Yeah, but doctors do not have
doctors say.
nutritional training.
Also true. Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to get something from a doctor, you should go to a dietitian or a nutritionist. I'm also a nutritionist, by the way. But if you want to get from a specific doctor, a dietitian is a doctor that also has nutritional training. And also, if you mention that I don't want to eat eggs because I want to respect animals,
True.
they will tell you what to do otherwise, right? Plus, I don't think any doctor who, I don't know about you, but any doctor who says you have a deficiency of a vitamin and recommends that you eat something instead of actually taking a vitamin, I think that's kind of wrong. Because if your deficiency is serious enough, you should take a vitamin for sure.
That's true.
Maybe it wasn't that serious. Maybe it was just a little bit on the low side or something.
Well, I don't really remember how much it was.
Yeah.
But you're vegan or vegetarian?
Yeah, I'm vegan. Yeah, I respect
Yes.
animals, so I'm
you
vegan.
respect animals and not to kill animals. You are just like
Yeah, not to enslave animals, sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also we are killing a lot of insects and other animals when we are doing, for example, like when we are cutting a lot of just like bushes and other stuff to create food for us. What is your opinion about this?
You mean the animals that die in crop production?
Yeah, just like small animals, for example,
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
insects,
horrible.
because
It's
unfortunately we
horrible.
need to do this. How we
Yeah.
can solve this problem?
Well,
in your
we can.
opinion?
I can tell you my opinion on how we can solve it, but that's not an issue with this, right? Because when you consume animal products, just to be clear, those animals are also fed crops. You know that, right?
It's also true.
Yeah. So most of the food that most of the crops that we grow for the animals. So that means that when you are going to eat an animal product, you are also killing the insects that in the production. In fact, considerably more insects than if you would eat a plant-based version. How do I think we should solve it? I don't know. Vertical farming is one solution. GMOs are another solution.
Yeah.
What else is there? Veganic farming is yet another solution. We have several solutions, I think. I do think we need to tackle this, but I don't think that's something that we can tackle by me talking to you, for example. That's something that companies, governments need to take over, and it's something that we need systemically changed, right? Like, hey,
Yes, yeah.
this is wrong, we need to do more of it. But when it comes to, the problem with this is that people cannot possibly care about the small animals when people pay to enslave and kill the big animals. You see, like when we have this mentality, when we view animals like objects which we can just take from because we want to, then obviously we're not going to care about the small ones. So sadly, even if there are solutions for that, the chances are that those solutions would be adopted widely are very small, because at the same time we take these sentient animals, the ones that can feel, that have emotions, that clearly don't want to die, and we kill them, we enslave them.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'm against, yes. In this way, I agree, we should definitely decrease the number of slave animals. Yeah, we should, make it more like vegetarian and vegan propaganda to make people, to be more responsible.
Well, not propaganda, because propaganda would imply some form of bias, but like reality. the
Advertisement,
reality. Yeah,
advertisement,
yeah.
more telling people, more about health, more about, different, and I feel this is systemic, how we need to solve it.
But when you said vegetarians, do you know what dairy cows go through, for example, the cows that produce milk?
No, they always should be pregnant to give milk.
They
for
always need to
example.
be pregnant? Yeah,
because
so-
this is only the reason.
So
for
farmers
something.
get them pregnant for one.
True.
You're right. What do you think happens when the baby is born? Do you think the baby stays with the mother?
If I'm not mistaken, small period of time standing, and then they're taking it away to the.
Pretty
Yes.
good. Yeah. On some farms they separate them directly. On some farms, you're right. They stay for a little bit and then separate them. And then if the baby is born male, what do you think they do to them?
In majority giving them for the meat, and just a small minority leaving to give more
Sperm and
less-
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they kill them or keep them to exploit them. You're right.
Yes, yes,
And if
sure.
they're born female every year, like their mothers, forcibly inseminated, babies taken, exploited for milk, and they do this repeatedly, and at some point they kill them. Do you know when?
Not really.
When they can no longer get them pregnant. So if they try to get them pregnant and the cows don't get pregnant, they kill them. Is that fair towards them?
I feel not so much fair, to be honest. But how do you think? We just need to let them be free, for example, to cows.
I think we
Because-
should not bring them into existence. We bring them into existence.
Yeah.
I think we should not bring them into existence in the first place. And if we ever reach that place where everybody in the world is vegan, then there will be some animals, of course. And I think those animals, we need to create, yes, a sanctuary, a big sanctuary where they are free, or as free as they can be. Yeah. Yeah, at least they wouldn't be treated like property by us. That's what I mean.
This is true, but then we also will get them in danger from other animals, from other species.
No, but that's what I
technically,
mean. Like
from
we can,
carnivores. Yeah.
we can have like an enclosure, like
Yeah.
where we keep them in an enclosure, but a big one. Like we have natural parks. We can have a natural parks for the domestic animals that we used to keep. Like that's yet again another solution provided by me. It doesn't have to be this, but it can be other solutions. But when it comes to these products, you said you were vegan or vegetarian.
Yes.
Why
I
is
was
it that?
vegan and vegetarian also.
Why is it that you're no longer choosing to respect these animals, or to why is it that now you are paying for them to be enslaved?
Because I have not enough, I said like I have not enough of vitamin B12 and vitamin D, and just doctor said me like I need to eat more meat and just like I need to eat more eggs. This was the reason. Just after I visited doctors like a few times, yeah, I understand. And to be honest, I want to say like my health become better after this.
But if I give you resources that would help you, give you access to a free certified nutritionist and help you thrive on a plant-based diet, so without actually paying for animal enslavement, is there any reason why you would want to continue that? And I also, by the way, I believe that if you go to those doctors yet again and say that I don't want to consume animal products because it is immoral to me, I think they would respect it. I don't think a doctor would force a Muslim person to eat pork, right, for example, or a Jewish
Sure.
person to eat pork, right? They respect the values that you have. So if you stand by your values, they would help you also out with that.
That's true. Also, I want to say like one of the reasons why people not becoming vegetarian and vegans, it's really expensive price for these products.
It is
Because,
not. It is not. It's not.
well, technically, like some countries,
Which products are you saying that are expensive?
like for example, like this vegetarian meat, and vegan meat, like they
Yeah, so those are more expensive indeed
Yes.
in a lot of places. Not here in the Netherlands, by the way, but in a lot of places, yes. But if you think about your diet, you're not going to consume these that often. So if you think about your diet as a wide thing, you are actually going to consume less. There's been like 3 studies done in Western Europe, in America, in Australia, and in the UK. And in all these situations, it ended up being up to 30% cheaper to be vegan. So in all those situations, it's vegan. And by the way, I only say vegan because vegetarians, it's the same thing. They still use animals, they still enslave animals, right?
But if person take only honey, it's the same.
It's the same. It's enslaving bees. Huh? We don't need to do that. They are also sentient. They also have emotions and they think.
Also true.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I appreciate you having this conversation with me. I'll just give you a card. I think it will help out. I urge you to either watch Dominion. I'll give you this card. Don't worry.
Okay.
I urge you. I mean, maybe you don't know it, but I urge you. Something you might like is actually the most important speech you'll ever hear. If you scan this QR code, it's the second thing will appear there. Can you promise me you'll watch that?
I promise you that I will watch.
Okay. And you also have the thing that I mentioned with access to a free nutritionist is there. It's called Challenge 22.
Okay, thank you very much. It was nice also to
I
speak
appreciate
with
it. What
you.
was your name again?
Max
Max.
from
Thank you,
Republic of
Max.
Belarus.
From Belarus, yes. Do you live
Okay.
in Belarus or do you live here?
I live in Belarus.
You
Yeah.
live in
I just
Belarus?
came here, like in Amsterdam to see. I see like very beautiful city and very beautiful country, Netherlands at all.
I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
I've seen one of my best friends is actually from Belarus, and she tells me a lot of good things about Belarus. It's a very clean and beautiful country. It's,
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about politics, but
Yeah.
but we I think we're on the same page on that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Okay, thank you one more time.
Have
And
an
good
awesome
luck.
day. Yeah, you too. Okay. It seems like the chat doesn't auto scroll anymore for some reason. I don't know why. Let's go, Max, says Axel. Yes, let's go. He was a nice kid. Yes, Belarus. I think like that's also kind of one of the things, when you're in a country where there's no freedom of speech per se. It's also difficult to have conversations that go against the normality, that go against what is. But although he said he tried being vegan or vegetarian or something, I didn't really understand that. I hope he understood that vegan is a moral principle and not a diet. Hey Chip, are pets slaves? Asks me somebody. If you treat pets like property, yes, they are slave. If you buy a pet doesn't matter from where. If you buy a pet, then yes, they are a slave because you are treating them like property. You are buying them. If, however, you rescue them and you treat them like individuals and you just abide by the rules of that society and you are looking after their own interests, then they are not slaves. So that's what it is. There's a difference there. It's not all pets are slaves. It's not a simple yes or no. It depends on the situation. So yet again, if you treat them like property, yes, they are slaves. If you treat them like a companion, then they're not. If you pay for them, then you have already treated them like property. But you can choose, even if you did that, you can choose to no longer treat them like property. Clown. Nah, brother. I would be, if I were a clown, I would have to wear makeup for a clown. So I'm not a clown. People walking by, there's like, oh, look at this guy, he's got a sign. He turns around, they look around, like, what? Oh, yeah, he's doing a social experiment or something. It all depends on his opinion. He says it to slave, it's a slave. Okay, dear leader. No, brother, I think I was pretty clear on my explanation, but I see you're not really interested in hearing my explanation. If you ask me questions and you're not interested in my answer, why actually do you ask me questions in the first place then? I'm just curious. Why? I will gladly answer your question, and as I explained to you what the difference is between pets, and I can hold my moral position about it and why. If sadly we live in a society where animals do have to be kept on a leash, animals do have to be in a way or in one form or another be treated a little bit like a property, but you don't have to abide by that. You can just treat them like individuals, and only when it's needed, hold them on a leash or keep them inside or all that stuff, because you rescued them from somewhere. If you pay for them to be bred so that you can keep them in your house and treat them like a slave, then yeah, it is pretty much slavery. Is a cow's life better than a snake? I don't know. I don't know what life a snake has, but I'm pretty sure that if you're talking about a cow in the dairy industry or in the meat industry, then a snake has a better life than them. I'll make an educated guess. How do you treat an animal like a slave? When you treat them like a property. When you're not looking after their interests, but rather your interests, and you affect them. So when you're affecting them but looking after your interest in the process, then you're treating them like a slave. If you treat them like a property, they're a slave, pretty much. Somebody says I'm a butcher by trade. I'm sorry for that, man. I'm sorry that you have to do that. I'm sorry that you have to cut the body parts of innocent sentient beings. Rescued pets are property. Sure, if you can make a case for it, I'll listen for it. I'll listen to it. But rescued pets are essentially you just taking them from one cage and giving them a bigger, better cage. So in a sense, sure, they are still property. They are still slaves to a system more than to yourself. But you don't have to treat them like a property, and you don't have to treat them like a slave, or all that. How about insects? What about insects? What about them? I didn't fight my way to the top of the food chain to be vegetarian, says somebody. So let me explain something about the food chain, because when you say something like that, you probably don't know what the food chain is. So I'll explain pretty simply. The food chain is a concept that was proposed by somebody to explain how energy flows in an ecosystem. It essentially says that plants get their energy from the ground. The herbivorous animals get their energy from the plants, and then the animals that are carnivorous get their energy from the herbivorous animals. How old are you?
I'm 13 years old.
18 plus, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to not... they looked very young. I didn't want to talk to kids who look very young, no. Yeah, so the food chain is a system that essentially measures how energy flows in an ecosystem. Carnivorous animals eating the herbivorous animals means they get even less energy. And there's even apex predators who eat the carnivorous animals, and they get even less energy. So in essence, there is so much energy loss for the animals on top of the food chain, as you call it, right? The food chain is not, and I repeat, a measurement of power. The food chain does not measure, well, how this is the most powerful animal. In fact, I think somebody yesterday made a really good case for the fact that, I would say animals at the bottom, the animals that are herbivorous, are actually having considerably more of a better life and power than the other animals. But that's an interesting case to make, and I'm not going to try to explain that right now. But even if it were, let's imagine that it is a measurement of power. Let's imagine that you think that the food chain is actually a measurement of power. We are top, we have top power, we have the most power. Do you think the fact that we have power means that we should be oppressing them? It means that the fact that we have power means that we should be enslaving them and abusing our power over them? Because I don't think that we should. I don't think that we should. That's not what my values are. Power does not equal abuse on my behalf. Power equals responsibility, if anything. But if you think that power means the right to abuse, then I think you should probably look into it. And just to finalize it, food chains do not actually exist. They are just a concept. The reality is most ecosystems are formed of food webs because there is no top or bottom, but rather some individuals eating some on some periods, some others on other periods. And all of those individuals, by the way, all of them, they do it because they have to. We do not have to. We do it because we want to. So let's not split hairs over here. There's a difference, okay? We can choose. Well, also, keep in mind that nothing that we do to animals is in any way or form natural. We oppress animals. We bring them to life only to enslave and kill them. That's not nice. Sentient beings who feel, who have emotions, beings who, if you throw them a ball, they bring it back. Cows do that. Pigs have zoomies. They literally, just like dogs do, they go crazy of happiness when they're very happy. Like, to treat them like objects and to make an optional product out of them simply because we get pleasure from it. Nah, brah. Don't do that. Somebody says, so are grass and trees. No, brother. Grass and trees are not sentient. Sentience is an emerging property of brains and central nervous systems. Grass and trees have neither. Therefore, they do not have a central nervous system. Can they communicate? Sure, they can. Are they intelligent? Sure, they have some form of intelligence, but none of it is indicative of a will, of free will or sentience or a subjective experience of the world. See if we get more people to have a conversation. Save the grass-eat animals. Well, actually, if you want to save plants, you should be vegan because animals are fed considerably more plants than you would otherwise eat to get the same nutritional profile. So in other words, you're actually killing considerably more plants and enslaving and killing animals. Let's see. Hey, are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Yes.
What's your name?
Bartosz, nice to meet you.
Bartosz. So Bartosz, I'm an animal rights activist.
Yeah.
I fight for the rights of animals.
Yes.
Do you think animals deserve rights?
Do I think animals deserve rights? Absolutely they do. Yeah, no, for sure.
What rights do they deserve?
Definitely they should be treated in legislature and by legislature in the judicial system as something that should be addressed in courts. So courts should be able to defend animals.
By the way, I speak about moral rights, not necessarily legal rights, but I appreciate what you said. And when I ask what rights, I mean like which specific rights do you think they should deserve? Not necessarily how we should treat those rights, but...
Okay. Let me think for a second. Right, so definitely, I mean, I eat meat.
Yeah.
I don't think we should stop eating it full stop, but there should be definitely some regulation to the amount of meat that we eat and the industrial, kind of like how industrial it all is. And
but let me ask you this, do you think animals deserve the right to not be enslaved by us?
Enslavement is a harsh word, although I do believe that there's a difference between, for example, like cattle ranching and, like free-range animals and animals being locked in industrial farming.
What is slavery to you then?
I think locking animals into large factories and stock houses is to some extent slavery, yes. However, if we would have them in more of a free range, giving them alive before we kill them and eat them, I feel that is a bit more morally correct.
Is it morally correct if I did that to your friend over here? If I
Certainly
put them
not.
in a big room, so not a small room,
Yeah.
a big room. I
big
give
room.
them TV, and when they reach the plum age
Please
of
no
12
TV.
years, when I reach the plum age of 12 years old or
Yes.
14 years old, when
Yes.
they can no longer grow that much more, is it okay if I take their life, knowing that I don't need to do any of this?
Yeah, and that's a moral dilemma.
So is it moral if I did that to your friend?
No, certainly not.
Certainly not. So why would it be moral then if we do it to an animal?
Due to a number of reasons around sustenance of our societies.
But we can get sustenance from other sources.
We
right?
can, but let's try to convince society first.
Just
to
like
go
I
with
could
that.
get sustenance from killing your friend, I could also get sustenance from other sources.
Yes, absolutely you could, but let's first convince society around us to not do it. I don't think this is a completely.
But that's not the point of society, right? Because the point is, you are paying for it, right? It's not that societies are paying for it. It's sure a lot of people are, but how do you morally justify paying for it? Not how others do it.
How
That's
do
the-
I morally
Yeah.
justify eating animals? I don't. I don't think it's moral. I eat it because I like it. It's tasty. It gives me sustenance. I'm quite young, so I still need the protein. I'm historically quite a small, weak child, so I also really got a lot of benefits from eating animals. But I don't think it's moral.
So you think it is immoral
Yeah.
to consume animals and
Yeah,
animal
yeah.
products in general?
Yeah, it is immoral. Absolutely.
Oh.
It's not a good thing per se. I still do it because of a number of reasons, which are bound to habits, taste, affinity to the idea. The meals are sometimes often better, but I don't think it's moral.
But
per
do you
se.
think could we justify? By the way, the meals are not often better. Often vegan meals are
Oh
considered.
no, McDonald's is shit. However,
All
like
of them are shit.
Yeah.
All of the meals that contain animal products are monumentally inferior to the meals that don't contain animal products because taste comes from spices and plants mostly.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah. To some extent, I agree with you, but a nice medium rare steak is quite good with little spices.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think it is nice. And the problem is that for that steak is a sentient being, an animal was killed for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, they were brought to life only to be killed. And you say it is immoral, but you seem apathetic towards it because you get some form of benefit from it. Is that really the attitude you want to have?
That is the attitude, unfortunately, that I want to have for now. Although, whenever I think about these issues before you took me here to this show, it always is. I'm not apathetic. This hurts me to a large degree. It doesn't slip past me unnoticed.
I'm sorry if you're not apathetic, but you talk as if you were apathetic because you do say, look at how much benefit I get from those products. Look at what I get from it. Look at how much I like it.
Yeah.
But you don't seem to be talking about the other side of what animals go through. Or you?
They're talking going through hell. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they are going through
But
hell.
our societies, for better or for worse, mostly for worse, are built on. This society is built on making the suffering of others more.
But it's not
intense.
something that we want to continue supporting, is
No,
it?
no. Historically, no. In the next 100, 200 years, absolutely not.
No.
Historically, it's something we should opt out of. Maybe not today, but definitely this is what we should strive to do.
But realistically speaking, for example, if I give you resources that would help you adopt a plant-based diet that would meet your sustainability needs,
Yes.
right? You would be healthy and thriving on it with access to a free certified nutritionist. Would you have any reasons to continue supporting this violence and exploitation of animals?
I would rethink it.
You would rethink
Potentially.
it. Yeah, okay. So I'm going
I think a lot of people have already rethinked it.
Yeah.
Now, and have followed a similar train of thought that you're following in order to, and then have come out the other end and said, no, this is something that I want to pursue.
Yeah.
It's something that I want to, go against. Yeah.
Because the sad reality is that most people actually, if they would see it every day, they would not want to be part of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
This is vile.
Yeah, but the one thing that these industries have successfully done is hide it from us.
Yes, absolutely.
And absent of mind, we think absent of thought, right? So we just buy it without even thinking. We go into a supermarket, we see a clean, nice product, and we think of what we get from it, the
Absolutely,
benefit.
yes.
But the reality is behind it, there's just so much awfulness that, like, I think if we saw it, a lot of the times we wouldn't buy it.
I'm young enough for me to have that moral debt and for me to continue for a bit more buying animal products and eating them. But I don't for a fact that when I'm a bit older and I stop growing, literally, I will, for example, eat meat once a month or once 2 months as a
But
celebratory
even
thing.
once or
Yes.
twice a month, why would you ever oppress an animal when you don't need to? Like, do you think that?
I will-
Let's imagine that your friend
Yes.
was in that situation,
Yes.
and somebody takes their life. But would
But
you?
my friend is not-
would you see comfort knowing that that person only does this once or twice a month?
No, of course not. Of
No,
course not. But
no.
my friend is not an animal, and
He's human.
Well,
We're
no,
all
he's human,
animals,
yes, but
yeah.
he's also we are animals, but also we're humans to a large degree. Also because of our moral conduct and our understanding and intelligence, and also I'm not saying that animals are incapable of intelligence. I believe they are very much more intelligent than we give them credit for. After all, octopuses have an architectural sense, right? That's
Yeah.
why I don't eat
Yeah, they have
octopuses.
like 9 brains, right?
And 9 brains, yes, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
they have a brain in each arm and a brain in their head. So
which
yeah,
is crazy, right? So they're probably intellectually quite adept, more intelligent than a lot of people around us, and yet we still eat them. And it's just a moral loss that I take with me. Not every day. I'm not a martyr, but I do regularly think about: is eating animals okay? I come to the conclusion that it's not. Will I continue doing it? For now, yes. And then
But why?
tell myself.
So if you think it's not okay, and if you would have resources for you to grow, as you say,
Yeah,
right, and
yeah.
be as healthy as you can be, why would you choose to still do this to them?
I'm kind of still okay. So ease is much a big issue. Also, if there will be cheap available options, which I know will give me the nutrients that I need.
Yeah, within your budget, I'm saying.
Yeah, within my. But that's the thing. It's a lot of like because fast food is so prominent. I'm not eating fast foods actually at all, but overall, it's often cheaper to focus your meal around the meats because you have this cultural
I know,
idea
yeah.
that is the center point of the meal.
Yeah.
So it's easy to just like okay, meat, some carbs, maybe some nutrients. Go next day, right?
Yeah,
and next day, and next day, and
there
next day.
definitely is some form of, I call it brainwashing, but I don't mean it in, like some form of, like we've been programmed to think, as you said, to think this way, that we grow our food around the meat and everything, around animal products. But, I feel like food enjoyment, like personally, ever since I'm vegan, by the way, I've personally enjoyed food considerably more. I've gotten more nutrients and I'm healthier than ever because also I feel like I need to look after it, right?
Yeah.
Like I need to make sure that I make all my nutrients intake and all.
Yeah, you cannot eat rice all day. Like vegans also don't eat rice all day.
No, of course not, right? So I feel like the reason why I ask it is I don't want to push you too much. I'll give you a card, but I'm just like I feel like you understand that it's wrong. You understand that you have other solutions.
Yeah.
It just feels like this is the hard question, okay? How many more animals
Can
be
I
exploited and slaughtered for
realistically
you until you
murder?
change?
How many animals can I murder until I change my mind? I don't know, man. But
How many do you want? Let's
how many do I want? I would like in my ideal life, I would like to kill an animal every 2 months, where I can take
That's
a
your
feast.
ideal.
Yeah, no, it's or maybe even rarer. Maybe once like peasants used to do
Why not
600 years
never?
ago. Because there's a specific idea about. Well, let me first clarify how I would extract the meat. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have industrial level factory farming of animals.
I don't really think that. So in fact, actually, there's a study done on 13,000 dairy farms in
Yes.
Germany, and the size of the dairy farm does not matter for the welfare of the animal. Number one, and number two,
Yeah.
I don't think that there is an inherent problem with factory farming. I think the problem with factory farming is that it's so very clear. It shows that we objectify animals in
Yes.
them, but the same thing in the same way we objectify animals on smaller farms. It's just that it's not as clear. as it is
And not
in
as like in
Yeah.
your face, where it's like
Yeah.
basically like a
but the
corporate
issue,
office.
But the issue itself, the objectification of animals, it's still there.
Can I circle the question to you?
Yeah, sure.
Can we find ways to, as a society, as people, sometimes consume animals without objectifying them, and with having
I don't
empathy?
think that we can. Maybe if we lived in a
Because
world.
that's the question I'm left every time I'm thinking about it by myself.
So maybe if we lived in a world, let's say that in a world where there's no animal agriculture and an animal dies and you want to consume their flesh, I think that wouldn't necessarily be objectification. It depends on
Yeah.
how you see it. But yeah, I would theoretically not sit on right here and talk to people and tell them do not do that. Let's face it. The problem is my thinking. The problem is bringing them to life only to kill them. I think that's the biggest problem. Or taking their life when you don't need to, like, or using them, bringing them to life to enslave them and use them because you want to get milk or eggs from them, just
Yes.
because you want to, not because you need to.
Okay. Yeah, and that's, I think if we would sustainably think of solutions is definitely to decrease meat usage in every society.
Like you mean like
Also,
environmentally speaking?
environmentally speaking, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, simply put, most meat that we don't eat in the global north, it's thrown away. It's not somehow magically going to the global south, to Africa, where people eat it. We just throw it away. So it's
Yeah.
literally pointless animal killing, like not even like to be eaten. It's pointless to be thrown out. The scale is overbloated. That's one thing. And the second, how can we think of a future where we may consume animals sometimes?
But
And
we
then
don't need to consume animals, so we can consume like there's lab-grown meat, there's all this kind of stuff.
but I haven't even tasted it. I don't know if it's gonna be here in
It
like.
doesn't really matter. Like,
I think it's gonna be immediately for the rich immediately, right? They're gonna try it first, and then only the lower classes are gonna
maybe,
eat
but
them.
if you ask me,
meat.
right, do you live here in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I do currently.
Yeah,
Yes.
so right now we have plant-based meats that are, some of them are so similar to animal-based
the plant-based
foods
meats. Yes, yeah. I know.
and some of them are actually even healthier. Like if you know the Vegetarisch Slager, that brand has some of the healthiest plant-based meats who are also tasty, some of them. And I feel like if we can do that, if you want to do that once every couple of months, do that every once a couple of months. But to still pay for an animal to get exploited and killed, even once a couple of months is bad. Like I don't think like killing humans is bad if we kill thousands of humans. I think killing humans is bad even if we kill one single human.
Yeah, I know. There's probably a large number of people which have argued against you why you flatten humans and animals in the same.
Not necessarily.
Wait.
Yeah.
Until this on the same level. I'm not gonna argue here with you because I don't think that's even. I also don't have the arguments because I'm after 2 beers. However,
I can explain to you what I mean.
No. I completely understand. Those are sentient creatures with emotions, feelings, and also a sense of dignity that they ought to be treated with.
And that,
just the same as humans.
And from that you're right. And
Yeah.
what derives from that is the fact that they value their life because it's everything to them, as much as I value my life because it's everything to me, as much as you value your life because it's everything to you. Do I think that they're more valuable than human? Perhaps not, because I have my own value system where I obviously will value humans above them. But I don't think we should derive morality or whether something is right or wrong based on the value that we give to others, but rather the value that they have themselves. Because while you are a stranger to me and you have almost zero value to me, I would never put a
want
knife
to
your
hurt to
throat,
me. Yeah, of
just
course.
because you have
Absolutely.
zero-
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And this is a larger question of even I think this is a matter of can we even not only animals but other people, can we accept, love, and work with entities which we don't see value in? And I think our world currently, be it
It's a fucked up world.
be it
currently. I will
capitalism
give
or
you
being
that.
or being like 21st century, you name it, is that we don't really respect anything which doesn't have value to us.
Yeah.
And this issue doesn't apply only to animals. It applies for the people that you see on the sidewalk.
100%.
They don't have any value to you, so that you don't treat them with dignity.
But,
and this is a larger.
I like to believe you're right that we live in this world today, and I don't know how to change this world. I would
Me
like
neither.
the world to not be this way. But what I like to do is I don't want to be part of that. Like
Yeah, okay.
for me, the way I see it is, sure, the world is fucked up, but I don't want to be the one more person to make it fucked up. If I can do my very best to make it as least fucked up as possible, I will do that, and that implies. Standing up for women's rights, standing up for LGBTQ
Yes.
rights,
Yes.
standing up for animals' rights. Everything
Yes.
that I can, I'll try to do at my best. And when it comes to this diet perception, I'm like,
It's kind of a similar topic.
it is, and for me, it's like it's not extra effort because essentially I have to make a choice what I eat anyway. So I'd rather just make the choice that doesn't oppress an animal. And sure, at the beginning there was an adaptation period. For me, it was a week personally. It wasn't even that long. But most people have like a month, maybe 2 months. But that's it. And afterwards, your life is exactly the same.
Yeah.
You enjoy food just as much,
Yeah.
but you no longer pay for something that even you find immoral.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am with you on the earlier topics that you mentioned. Maybe I just need to grow up
You should. You should.
to accept the animal side.
You should, because you know why? You're an open-minded person. You're a smart guy, and there's not a lot of that in today's world. And I think you have even more of a responsibility because of that. You have even more of a responsibility to make the right thing. And I don't know. That's how I see you.
Okay.
I enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, man.
What's your name again?
Bartosz.
Bartosz. Interesting name.
Poland,
From
yes.
Poland. So Bartosz, scan this QR code.
Cheers.
Watch the Minion or the Most Important Speech Ever Here. They both appear on top. Oop. One of them. Watch one of them.
Yeah. They're all
And
on the QR code.
they all on the QR code. And then
Easy.
there's a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. They help you adopt a plant-based diet for free.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Bartosz, I appreciate you.
I
having
like
this
the
conversation
conversation.
with me.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
You also have my social media there if you have more questions.
Perfect.
Cheers, guys.
Best of luck.
Appreciate you. Bartosz was a nice guy, smart person. We need more smart people on our side. I hope he makes the connection. I hope he already said it's immoral, which is good. I didn't like him saying that whole thing about a steak or something, but you know. Yeah. Plants are alive, no right to eat them. Plants are alive, but plants are not sentient, as I've said before. And even if let's say you want to debate me, plants are sentient or something, they're not. But let's imagine that you think that they are. On a plant-based diet, you would be killing considerably less plants in the end. Even if it sounds counterintuitive, the reality is a lot of the times we forget that the animals are actually fed plants themselves. And the energy that they get from plants, the macronutrients that they get from plants, is way more than we would. Sorry, the energy that they take in, the energy that they all the energy that it takes for them to grow up is considerably more than the energy that you would get if you ate considerably less plants than they would. So in other words, you could that's such a mouthful of how I said it, isn't it? In other words, if you consume the plants directly yourselves, you could get more nutrition. That means more macronutrients, more protein, and kill considerably less plants, considerably less issues that are associated with planting plants, with crop production, and considerably, no more animal enslavement and animal exploitation. So yeah, I would say you should still do that. Well, not to mention, of course, all the... Wanna try it? Yeah, whatever. Somebody. That's the epiphany of, yeah, maybe you're right, but don't let me think about it. Don't make me think about this kind of stuff. Maybe once he was an animal, lol, I actually am an animal because I am human. If you are a human being, you are, by definition, an animal. It's kind of funny. Might need to move a little bit more in the shade. I think my phone right now is in the sun, but that's okay.
Do you lift in the gym in the train wall stealth flags?
Say it again?
Do you lift in the gym on the stealth
Yeah.
flags? Oh, yeah.
Do you do also?
I go to the same gym, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, what's your name?
Alex. What's your
Alex.
name?
I'm Chip.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a social experiment. I'm asking people some questions.
Okay.
You want to try it?
What kind of question?
It's mainly about animal rights. I'll tell you because
Oh, I know. You wear the vegan shirt.
Yeah. I wear the
support
vegan
cause,
shirt.
man.
You support the cause?
Well, yeah. Honestly, I used to be vegan, and then I just got drunk one day, and then I ate a kebab, and then I just fell off the wagon. It really feels like that,
Yeah.
But I it's animal cruelty. There's no such thing as
It is.
as diervriendelijk vlees, in Dutch.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
So why continue supporting it then?
Well, I'm actually thinking I just need to put it back into practice. That's all I need to do, really.
Yeah.
Just like figure out that that's more important than taste, because I think that's the only reason why I eat meats is because I like the flavor.
Yeah.
But obviously, if I were to weigh out all the moral arguments, there's no real reason that you can. But it's just like put it in a different chamber in your mind, and then you don't think about it, and it just becomes cognitive dissonance to a certain extent.
Yeah, but you're a father, huh?
I know, so I mean, I got to give
It's
the
even
right
more important.
example.
You got to give the right example,
Yeah.
and you got to say this isn't how we treat animals. Just
No,
because
for
we
sure.
enjoy products
Yeah.
from them,
Yeah.
we shouldn't be treating
No,
them like objects.
dude, I totally agree. Like,
You
I don't-
agree?
It's just a matter of time. I think even speaking to you today is
I appreciate
You
it,
know,
man. Let me give you a card. It will
Yeah,
help you
sure.
out.
Okay. But are you like are you a proper activist when it comes to?
That's what I try to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you scan this QR code,
Yeah.
there's a thing there called Challenge 22. I'll give you the card. You
Oh,
can
yeah?
take
Okay,
it.
wicked,
There's
yeah.
a thing there called Challenge 22.
Yeah.
They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you
Yeah.
recipes every day,
Nice.
and help you go vegan for free.
Nice, man. Oh,
And-
I heard about this actually. Yeah. I mean, I used to. Do you know Ed Winters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think like when I was watching his stuff on YouTube, that kind of like
I
made me realize, God, fucking hell, man. There's,
Yeah, he's a good activist. He's a good activist.
he's a legend.
So, and if you want to watch something, the most important speech you'll ever hear.
I've seen the Minion.
You've
That's
seen the Minion.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, the most important speech you'll ever hear. Maybe you can watch it with your
Yeah.
daughter or something. It's like it's just a speech, but I'm not sure how
Yeah.
old is she.
She's turning 3, so I don't
Oh,
think
okay,
it's not
maybe
there
she-
yet.
she wouldn't be
But I
interested
think
in
like
it,
I
yeah.
saw some videos as well, like where some kids are like they ask their parents like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me chicken actually came from the animal.
Exactly. It's very important that we're
Yeah, yeah.
transparent to the.
But what do you think about like? Do you think there's like level? Obviously, there are some cases where I suppose killing an animal to feed yourself is moral. Like let's say
if you have to.
but it comes from necessity, right? It's
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
let's say you're stranded in a forest and you have to survive, then there is obviously
Yeah, and in that situation, you might be able to. I don't think it's moral even in that situation, but
Really?
you could justify it. But in that situation, you may also justify like eating a human being, right? Because if
right.
you-
Like for example, the
Yeah.
rugby players who crashed their plane and
in the Andes,
and
yeah.
you can't blame them for what they had to do to
You
survive,
can't,
right?
No, yeah. So in survival
Yeah.
situations, I think morality kind
Yeah.
of gets thrown out the window, and you're like just surviving. But that's not the place we're in.
No, totally not. But I think like obviously the disconnect to like seeing where your food is coming from, that whole like pipeline to how it ends up.
That's
in
the problem.
supermarkets is so.
That's what I've been
Yeah.
telling people who I've been
Yeah.
talking today. This is the biggest thing that animal agriculture does. The most successful thing is
Yeah.
keeping it hidden for us.
Yeah. You know, like there's, I don't know, it's a different topic, but the EU's just passed legislation to kind of make it so that the GMO crops can be used and
Oh,
be
nice.
grown.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, without going into detail of what a GMO crop is, if it's good or bad, like it is strange that now that we can just have that in the supermarkets, in the products that are vegan. Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying this. Actually, but yeah,
That's okay. That's okay. I appreciate
Yeah.
you stopping by. Watch the most important speech
I
you'll
will,
ever
I
hear.
will, I
You'll
will.
enjoy it. This is the second video, okay?
Take care, mate.
Cheers,
See you
man.
in the gym, man.
Yeah. See you in the gym. Somebody from my gym just walked by and he's like, "Hey, I've seen you in the gym. You're in that gym." It's funny. Vegan food is extremely high in sodium. Wow. How do you figure, man? Do you think potatoes are inherently high in sodium? Do you think tomatoes are high in sodium? Do you think bananas are high in sodium? Do you think plums are high in sodium? Do you think bread is high in sodium? Do I need to continue? Tofu is high in sodium? Oh, that's funny. Oh, brother, you're thinking about plant-based meats, and even those, not all of them are high in sodium. Salt is high in sodium. Thank you, Navia. That's awesome. Vegan food is like rubber. Sure, bananas are like rubber. Nectarines are like rubber. Cherries are like rubber. Peaches are like rubber. Blueberries are like rubber. Pineapple is like rubber. Do I need to continue? Are they all like rubber? It's so insane, man. People, when they think of vegan food, they imagine, they only talk about like plant-based meats as if that's the only vegan food that exists. I'm not advocating for you to eat that. If you don't want to eat that, don't eat that. I'm gonna put the cap on you guys, okay? Put a cap on you. Hold on. That's it. You got a cap. You got a cap. I got a cap. We're capped. We're capped. We've been capped. Hey Erwin, I made you a moderator, by the way. And moderators, I think Anna told me that the comments that were deleted were slurs at minorities and such. I urge you to educate the people. Don't just tell them, hey, fuck you, don't say that. Try to educate them. Try to explain to them why those slurs are hurtful and why they don't actually help anybody in the process. It's very important because I feel like I am speaking up for animals, but when we get people like that, we have occasions to actually teach them something meaningful. We have the occasions to make the world a little bit better. Even if those people may not actually listen, maybe they will understand something in the process. And if not, at least you exercise your way of explaining this. At least, like, that's how I see it. And if they don't listen and they continue with the slurs, then you can, silence them or whatever. Sir Spalty's here. Nice. I totally agree with you. Can I see you flex your biceps? Hey, I'll do that just because I want to show you that you can definitely have muscles on a plant-based diet. It's pretty easy to have it too. Let's see how long you last in a Muslim country telling them not to kill halal. I'm sure that even in a Muslim country they have alternatives like tofu, chickpeas, like falafels. Aren't falafels coming from Muslim countries? Scamchan asks me, how often do you work out? 5 times per week. That's it. 5 times per week. Chip is such a Sagittarius. I was born in December, so therefore I am Sagittarius, but I'm such a person born in December. As I don't know. I don't believe in astrology. I think astrology is what it's called. I think falafel is Turkish. I think falafel exists in pretty much all Middle Eastern countries. Hey, I just ask people some questions, get them to think a little bit. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I have to ask, not everybody acknowledges apparently that.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry.
So I've seen people who were like, I didn't know I was on camera, but I have a microphone. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your name?
My name is Seline.
Selena, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
I'm from here.
Oh, you're from here, from
Yeah.
Netherlands. Okay. So Selena, I'm a animal rights activist.
Ah, okay.
I fight for the rights of animals.
Yes.
Do you think that animals deserve rights?
Oh, of course.
What rights do you think animals deserve?
To have a good life, not to be used for our entertainment, like having, how do you say it, with makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
It should be animal cruelty free.
Okay. So animals should have the right to not be used for our entertainment.
Yeah.
Do you think animals should have the right for them to not be used for something that we don't need?
Yeah, of course.
Like for something optional to us?
Yeah, like I said, makeup, it's very
Makeup.
optional.
What about for food, for example, or clothing? Do you think all of these are optional?
Well, clothing I'm very against, obviously, because we
like
have
leather, like fur.
we have so much substitutes.
Yeah, alternatives.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
alternatives,
good- yeah.
exactly, because this is also not real leather.
Yeah.
So that should be a big no.
But what about food then? Because I feel like for food,
yeah,
do we
well,
not have
I can't
alternatives
be,
there?
Yeah, of course, but I was raised, of course, eating meat, and I'm so used to it right now.
Yeah.
And I did try to go vegetarian, but due to my health, I can't really do that anymore.
Why is it that you can't do that? What's specifically about your health? If you feel
Yeah, no,
safe,
I my protein levels are very low most of the time.
Oh, so you
and
eat very little protein.
Yeah, no, I need more protein,
Yeah.
otherwise I can't function. And then my, how do you say it in English? I don't know. But basically my basic movements just go away.
So if I give you resources that would help you reach any goal that you have nutritionally, protein, vitamins, everything that you need, for free, with an access to a free certified nutritionist, is there any reason why you would continue paying for animals to be used for food?
No, not really, because also the taste is not. Yeah, I don't care about that. So
And do you think it's fair for us to choose to enslave them? And it sounds like a tough word, but that's the reality. What we do to them.
Yeah, no, of
we
course.
enslave them and we kill them. We bring them to life to use them and then kill them. Do you think it's fair
No,
to do that to them?
I don't think it's fair. But I come from a hunter's family, so we. Well, my family hunts. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But and then we share the for example, a deer between 3 families, and you can feed 3 families for a whole winter, basically.
But you
So
could
I
do
think
that also by buying by buying plant-based products.
but
You don't need to do
my
all
family
that.
doesn't really support, how do you say it, products in the supermarket because, like you said, it's not very ethical.
I would say it's considerably more unethical to take the life
Yeah.
of a sentient being when you could choose to eat a plant.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, for example, most cows, they're in big stalls and all cropped up, you know.
Even if they
So-
weren't, we would still bring them to life only to kill them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, but my family doesn't support fabric and farms and that kind
That's
of
okay,
stuff.
but,
they
like-
just hunt in the wild, and then you kill one animal. Well, yeah, you kill
Is
them.
that the view that you
and-
share also?
Well, basically, yeah. Yeah.
So you
I
think it's
so.
okay to kill an animal even though you don't need to do it?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Never really thought about it. I was raised that way.
No, yeah, I agree. Like if I ask you now, like, do you think that it's okay to kill an animal when you don't need to do it?
No.
No. So it comes back to the same thing. While we can say that sure, killing a wild animal is perhaps better than bringing to life an animal only to kill them, and I will agree with you with that. At the end of the day, it's still killing somebody who is without any need, right? And if your family chooses to do it, they can do it, but you don't have to convince them to not do it. But you also don't have to be part of it if you don't think it's okay. See what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really know. My family's kind of strict, so yeah.
But wait, if your family starts hunting dogs and eating dogs, would you consume dogs?
No.
No.
I think.
So you would
I
still
hope.
you would still say no to them, right? So you can say no to them, right? The reason why I asked this question is to test
Yeah,
exactly
but
this.
I don't kill them specifically.
No, but your
I'll
family
just,
would kill them.
Yeah.
And they would bring dog meat. Would you eat that?
No. But
No.
I think that's also a kind of, it's a dog, so it's a kind of stigma, you know?
Yeah, but like, would you? Is it only because it's a stigma, or is it because the thing about it is like we've been taught that dogs should be respected and left alone, and we thought about these other animals that it's okay to kill them, but in reality, when we live in a society where we have enough food that we do not need to use other animals to kill other animals, then all of it falls short. All of it is the same. All of it is wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I think so. To think about it.
Yeah. Let me give you a card. It will help you out.
Oh! Watch out.
Yeah, the wind is.
Yeah, no.
It's not a good guy today. So I'll give you this card.
Thank you.
Let me just tell you real quick.
Yeah.
On it, if you scan this QR code, there's Dominion or the most important speech you'll ever hear.
Yeah?
Watch one of those just to
Okay.
kind of get a glimpse of what we're talking about here.
All right.
And on it, you also have a thing called Challenge 22.
Mm-hmm.
They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day,
Ah,
and they help you adopt a plant-based diet. All of it for free.
amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. What was your name
Yes,
again?
Celine.
Celine.
Have a
Awesome
great
name.
day.
Have a great name.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Great name. I said have a great name. I was want to say have a great day. I think I have only one card. No, I have a couple more cards, but I think I only want to have one more conversation, everybody. An hour and a half is kind of what I was going for anyway today. And I need to go back and do some work and stuff. But yeah, nice girl. Yeah, she was okay. I think, I don't know. I felt like she didn't want to be challenged on that whole idea of hunting for animals. That's okay. Vegans are sad. Stop the hate. I mean, we don't hate, man. We actually respect all sentient beings. In fact, our position is one of compassion and fairness. I would say if there ever were to be hate, it would be choosing to exploit and slaughter an innocent animal simply because they were born a species that you deem unworthy of life. I would say that is more in line with hate than with our message of compassion and fairness. But you do you. What can I do? I'm trying to educate you. I'm trying to show you what you can do. But you might be very resistant to it because you don't want to change, and that's okay. That's okay. But at least listen to the message. At least, oh my God. It's a pretty strong wind today, everybody. As you see, the umbrella was knocked out. But luckily, nobody got hurt. I just urge you to listen to the message. I just urge you to educate yourself. You know, I think if you want to be strong in your position, in your choice, if you want to be sure that what you're doing is the right thing, if you want to be sure that that's okay, then I urge you, you know, watch Dominion, as Erwin has put it in there. Watch the 3-minute movie that it is on the description of the stream. Watch some of these, you know. It's it just educates you and shows you what you pay for. Don't expect these industries that you pay them that they will actually show you the truth. And if you watch that, and try to connect with it and say, that's okay, then there's nothing I can tell you. Hi, how old are you?
20.
Okay, that's okay. You look very young. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes.
You want to come here so that you're in view? What's your name?
Salma.
Selma. Nice to meet you, Selma.
Nice to
I'm
meet
Chip.
you.
Where are you from?
Like, I'm from North Carolina, but I'm ethnicity Moroccan.
Oh, nice. You're from North Carolina. My sister lives in North Carolina. Where?
Really?
Yeah.
What part?
She lives in Charlotte.
Okay, I used to go to school there.
Oh, you used to go to
Yeah.
school there? Nice. Okay, so I'm an animal rights activist. I
Mhm.
fight for the rights of animals.
Mhm.
Do you think that animals deserve rights?
Yeah.
What rights do animals deserve?
You mean you're talking like all animals, correct? Or,
Yeah. Like animals in general. What rights do they deserve?
I think, I don't know. It's like general question.
Sure. Let me ask you this. Do you think they deserve the right to not be enslaved by us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So do you think that when we're buying an animal product like meat, like milk, like cheese, like eggs,
Mhm.
do you think that an animal was enslaved for those products?
Yeah. Unless it's a free range.
Do you think free-range animals are are not enslaved?
If they're actually free range, I think it's fine.
But it's still enslavement, right?
Um,
Are they not property?
I guess so.
Do they have freedom to do whatever they want?
No.
Are they killed when the farmer says they should die?
Yeah.
So they don't have anything to say for their life. They don't have actual freedom to live, and they are still treated like property. So I would say that's pretty textbook slavery, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So I would assume you are against slavery, right?
Yeah.
So then do you think you can be against slavery while simultaneously paying for it when buying animal products?
I don't know. I think there's like a certain argument to, like, the kind of life cycle of like food chain type of thing. I don't believe in like the way a lot of companies, especially in America, do it. Like they're just stuck in a small cage. But I think when it's like in like an open farm, and they kind of, you know, are fed like well, like good, not GMOs and like all this stuff. My personal opinion, I think it's.
Let's talk a little bit about dairy cows, the cows that produce milk. Why do you think cows produce milk in the first place?
For their young.
Exactly. So do you think they get pregnant when they want to, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers probably decide for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we do that to humans, would that be fair?
No.
No. Okay, when the babies are born, what do you think they do to them?
The babies for the cow?
Yeah.
Separate them.
They separate them,
Yeah.
exactly. So do you know why they separate them?
So they don't get attached?
That's one part of it, but the most important part is so that they don't drink their milk. Because if they stay to their mother, they will drink milk. And,
Yeah, okay, that's not good then.
Yeah. And if the baby is born male, they don't produce milk. So what do you think happens to them?
They said if it's born male, it's bull, they die.
They
Probably.
kill them. Yeah.
They don't let them grow?
Some farms do, but if they're a small farm, they don't, because the breed that is for meat, the cows that are bred for meat are different than the cows that are bred for milk.
Okay.
So they don't actually make enough muscle in the right areas that it would
Okay.
make financial sense for them to keep them alive.
Then I would probably say there's more, like, it is issues with ethics that's involved in like in that type of scenario.
Yeah, and let's just finish through it. So
Yeah.
if they're born female, they go every year like their mother, inseminated, babies taken away and exploited for milk every year repeatedly, and at some point they kill them. Do you know when?
At the end of their life?
No, so they do this 6 to 7 times, and afterwards they can no longer get them pregnant.
Oh.
And if that happens, they kill them. Cows can live 24, 25 years, so they live a third of their natural lifespan. Is this fair to do to them? Do we need any of these products? Milk, cheese?
Honestly, I think milk is known to, cow's milk is known to not even be good for you, right?
There you go.
So
If we don't need any of this and we do this to them, it can be even worse when it comes to meat. Like, and we can definitely survive and thrive, like be as healthy as we can on a plant-based diet. Then isn't everything that we do to them considerably more unfair?
I don't know about plant-based diets, just because I've heard like mixed things. So like some people say it's good. I don't agree with the full protein diet, like full like meat diet. But I don't know if there's like certain things, like you need certain vitamins if you're just completely plant-based.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I mean, if not, you can supplement always, right? So why does that matter?
Yeah, but then I question like what's the point? Not what's the point. I agree with people who decide to go plant-based, but then if you need to supplement a lot of things, I think then.
No, there's only one thing you need to supplement.
B12?
It's called B12. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason, and by the way, if you're concerned about that, animals are actually supplemented B12. So when you're getting B12 from the animals,
because they're supplemented.
yeah, it's because they're supplemented. Yeah.
So then where do we originally get B12?
Originally, we got it from a bacteria that was on the ground.
Oh.
But because we fucked up the ground with agriculture, that
Yeah.
bacteria no longer exists. So we have to feed
Okay.
them B12.
Okay, well then there's definitely an argument there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we reach a point where like, kind of no matter how we try, we enslave animals and we treat them like objects for something that we don't actually need, right? Is that fair?
No.
No. Do you want to be part of this system that enslaves animals?
No.
No. What would you call a person that's not part of the system?
I mean, I think a lot of people are uneducated and kind of
Yeah.
ignorant to it, so I don't know if I'd go as to like call them names.
No, I don't
but-
necessarily mean like a qualifier or an adjective, but
Yeah.
there's a term for them. People who do not support it.
Oh, vegan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what being vegan is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
means rejecting.
I went to the VBF, VBJ,
I don't know.
VJ, the
Oh.
restaurant here that's vegan.
Oh, nice, nice,
I don't
nice.
know. It's good.
So, good, nice.
Yeah.
So that's the vegan is not a diet. It's a moral principle of saying it's not fair what we do to animals,
Mm-hmm.
so we should stop it. And of course, you follow through with it, because if I say it's unfair to, like, if I say women should have rights, but then I go around slapping women's asses or treating them like objects, doesn't really matter what I say. It matters what I do, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for the.
Sure.
talk.
Let me give you a card.
Okay.
Scan this QR code and watch either Dominion or the most important speech you'll ever hear.
Okay.
And you have another thing there. They both appear on top. And you have another thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, and help you go plant-based for free. Okay?
Cool. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Is this on YouTube or?
This is on my YouTube channel. Yeah, you have it here.
Okay.
You can watch it back if you want to watch the conversation back. Can you promise me you'll watch one of these two videos just to get educated on all the things in animal
Yeah.
agriculture? Okay?
Yeah,
I
have a
appreciate
good
it.
day.
What was your name again?
Selma.
Selma. Selma, you're awesome. Thank you for having this
Thank
conversation
you.
with me. Cheers. Everybody, I think that is it. I think that is it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. I will be back tomorrow and some other day also. And you know what? Let's see. I'm just gonna. Selma was cool, wasn't she? From North Carolina, tiny car. Yeah, there are some of those in Amsterdam. I just put animal abuse should be legal on that side. So until we finish, if somebody wants to have a conversation with me, there was a woman who actually read the sign that says animal abuse should be legal. She reads the sign that goes like, "Ha." I think most people know what we're talking about. That girl was smarter than 80% of the chat, says Ben. Ben, that's the thing about it, huh? I think conversations on the street, conversations we have with people are considerably better than anything that happens in the chat. That's why I applaud everybody who sits in the chat. I applaud everybody who wants to have the conversations in the chat. Yeah. Warm days to come, Chip. Tuesday, 35 Celsius. Fuck me. Oh, I'm sorry about that, but Jesus Christ, it's gonna be hot. Has says, thanks for your hard work, Chip. Has, I appreciate you do the same thing. You work hard for everything. I think there's more bigger problem in the world, says Danielle. I'm not going to read your whole name, but you say Danielle. Danielle, that's okay. You can fight for all those other causes while simultaneously also no longer oppress animals. Because you see, when you eat, you make a choice yourself. I'm assuming nobody's forcing you in that choice. So you can just choose to not oppress animals with that. Or when you buy clothes, you can choose to not buy clothes that oppress animals. So you can always make that choice and fight for all the other animals that you need. Let's see if anybody stops by for the 5 minutes that I'm going to be sitting here and having a little bit of a conversation with everybody here. If anybody stops by with animal abuse should be legal, let's see. Well, actually, you know what? Since people are just reading the sign, might as well put the sign. If you're not vegan, you support needless animal exploitation. That's the sign right now. If people read it, let's see who comes up and says something about it. Do you agree with the sign? Do you agree with the sign? Are you vegan? So you support needless animal exploitation? You can do better. Chip, don't forget to mention Speedy Draculum. Speedy Draculum, thank you. Thank you so much, Louis, for reminding me who won, because I did not check. I'm sorry about that. I actually had a pretty busy day. Thank you so much, Draculum, for being so speedy in all your comments. Thank you so much for that. You are obviously get a shout out. But you know what? I'm gonna say thank you for everybody who tries. I'm gonna say thank you for everybody who's constantly in the comments, who constantly helps make this channel get a little bit bigger. We can reach more people. Like, I just appreciate all that. That really helps it. And you know, I just appreciate all the community that we have all over here. I think we help each other out. We have conversations. It's so nice. I just really appreciate this whole community, and I thank everybody for it. And I don't know. I just want to be sure that I'm extremely grateful for everybody and everybody being here. Flex it before you leave, Daddy. Daniel, I'm not an object. I'm a sentient being who has emotions. I don't know what that. I have a thing here. I just saw now. So no, I will not flex it before I go. Or at least not because you tell me to do it. Navia says, do it! Shit! Navia said it! Damn it, Navia's vegan. Now I gotta do it. Yeah, I was actually first for your first or second live uploads from yesterday. Louis, you're awesome that you were first. Louis, then shout out to you. Louis, anyway, you're like the person who comments the most on my channel, so I appreciate that. Kimmy Cat says, can we vote? Can we vote? Flex. Okay, fuck it, I'll flex it, but I'll flex the full thing, okay? So everybody wants me to flex on like an object over here. Don't objectify people. There you go, I flexed. Am I feeling weird about it? Sure. Are people looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Yeah, people are looking at me weird about it. Take it off. No, I'm not gonna take it off. Funny. I appreciate it. I appreciate you liking my muscles. But that's it, everybody. I think nobody wants to stop by. People are looking at me weirdly, like, what the hell is this guy doing? Why is he flexing his muscles? But you know, at least they're having a better day watching me. Chip got half the chat blushing. I appreciate you, everybody, for being here. Plants do not feel pain, says Erwin. Erwin, man, I'm sad that I didn't make you moderator earlier. You definitely sent awesome links, and you should have been that. So I was thinking of coming back tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll do outreach. I'll see. I was thinking of I've been saying that we should do a little bit of a chill stream. So maybe we'll do that. But then again, on Tuesday, if it's gonna be super hot, I definitely am going to be inside. I'm not gonna be outside if it's super hot. So maybe we'll do either Discord or stream there. I don't know. I'll try to measure it. I want to do a chill stream where we watch some things together, where we maybe pump up some other vegan channels a little bit. There's a lot of newer vegan channels that popped up that want to do live streams, that want to speak for animals, and I want to help them out also, because we, the more of us there are, the more of this there is, the more outreach, the more, the quicker we get and we understand that the fact that the way we treat animals is not normal. It shouldn't be normal. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not sure yet. But either way, if I will not, I will try to be here tomorrow, and if not, I will be definitely on Sunday. I will be doing outreach. So, phew. God, I had the weirdest dreams every day. Everybody yesterday, but I'm not gonna go into that. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'm gonna go eat something because I haven't eaten anything yet for lunch. I'm gonna do some more work, and I'm going to donate the money from the last streams, as I promised, towards a vegan cause. I'll have to look into what. If not, I'll just donate to the same animal sanctuary as last time. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here. If you're not vegan, there's a link in the description of this video. It's called the 3-minute video. 3 minutes, you'll see it there. It takes 3 minutes out of your time. You can watch and see kind of what we mean. A lot of the times we have this perception that animal agriculture is this weird good thing. It's not. Yeah, check out Animal Charity Evaluators. Okay, I took a photo of that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I will check that out. Yeah, and if you're a vegan, consider speaking up for animals. It might make your day a little bit better. You might make somebody think, and in the end, you never know how that eventually boils down to, even if one single animal no longer gets exploited. So enjoy it. Start enjoying that beautiful city more, Chip. Live in a positive state of mind. I live in a positive state of mind? What do you mean? I'm a pretty positive guy. And I'm enjoying the city. I'm biking, am I not? No, I'm not gonna. I don't like being out. I don't have money to be out, everybody. I have money to stay in and go for walks in parks and such. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Must be so exhausting doing what you do. Says Brad Nelson. Brad, you're kind of right. It is exhausting at times. To be honest, the most exhausting thing isn't necessarily sitting here and talking to people. I kind of got used to it. I'm pretty much an introverted person, but yeah, mentally it is exhausting. The exhausting part is, it's that I try to do this thing. I don't do it for money or anything. I do it because I care about animals, and I started enjoying some of it, and I feel guilty because I'm enjoying it. I just feel like the exhausting part is this stigma of how to do it, of how you should be, and all of this. This is the exhausting part. The exhausting part is all the people around it, is my point. It's not the action itself, it's all the people around it that makes it exhausting. So yeah, that's the exhausting part. But yeah, no, enjoy it and be happy. Yeah, you deserve to be happy. Thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate that. Stay blessed. Yeah, thank you. I know that's the thing I love about this community, because I'm honest with you, and I appreciate you also helping me and supporting me. I actually was doing therapy, and I gave it up because it was too expensive. So whatever, I'll be back at some point. Financially, I'll be back better, and it will all be better. It's just right now, because of the stock market and because of everything, it's kind of complicated. Whatever, I'm not going to complain. I'm not a person to complain. I'm doing well. I'm living in a beautiful city, in one of the best cities to live in the world. I make it work, whatever. Again, I'm not one to complain. So I appreciate everybody being here. If you need help, by the way, I helped Axel set up his OBS. If you need help, advice on if you ever want to do the same thing, maybe go live, maybe speak to people, hey, contact me, drop it in the chat. I thrive. I love helping people. I love it. Okay, so you're actually doing me a favor if you need help, and I'll try helping you out somehow. Okay, so thank you so much everybody for being here. Support animals. Live vegan. Don't exploit anybody. Respect everybody. Everybody deserves to live equally. Respect everybody's choice for gender, for sexuality. Don't discriminate based on race. Don't discriminate based on country they're in. It's sad that I have to say all this, but you know, we reached the point where some people think it's okay to do any of these. So let's not. Let's respect everybody. Okay? I appreciate you. Have an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Oh, Big Dunk Truck. Big Dunk Truck. I think I asked you. I had to. That's okay. Just drop a comment and we'll talk in the comments. You've already dropped enough comments. See you in the next one, everybody.